This is a popping cork, the very same popping cork that we all grew up fishing as kids. But what if I told you that there is another popping cork that works even better? I recently tried this new setup and was a bit skeptical, but was quickly rewarded with multiple nice redfish. It turned out to be one of the most productive red fishing days I have ever had out on the water. Before I get too far into this, I have to give credit where credit is due. This is not my idea. I heard it from a friend of mine, this guy, Captain Karl Butigian, who happens to be one of the very best anglers here in Southwest Florida and has appeared on the channel before. After hearing about this, I knew I had to give it a try. And my recent experience out on the water has told me that a lot of big redfish are following my topwater lure just to pull off the last moment. So I thought this was a perfect opportunity to try this new setup out. So what does this new setup look like? Well, it looks like this. It's very similar to the traditional popping cork method, but instead of using a popping cork, you're actually going to use a propeller style topwater bait like this. I'm using the Smithwick Devil Horse, but I believe any topwater propeller bait would do. A traditional style popping cork like this one simulates feeding fish, whereas a propeller bait like the Smithwick Devil Horse simulates fleeing bait fish. Both of these attract fish. But I do believe the biggest difference is that the prop bait attracts fish in a far less aggressive manner than your traditional popping cork. All right, now let's talk about setting up this rig. You are gonna have to do a little bit of work to your topwater prop bait before you start rigging it. So the first thing you have to do at a minimum is take off the front and the back hook. You can do this with just a small Phillips head screwdriver. Now, I like to leave the middle hook on just in case a big fish blows up on this lure. You can catch them. I mean, even when I'm using a traditional popping cork, every once in a while, a big trout or a snook or a redfish will pop the popping cork itself. So with this setup, you can at least have a good shot of catching that fish. And the middle hook doesn't seem to get fouled on the line when I'm working it, when I'm casting it, or when I'm fighting a fish. So I don't see any real downside of just leaving this hook on. All right, once this topwater is ready to go, I just tie a small piece of heavy monofilament. Now this is 60-pound monofilament. I connect this from my mainline braid to the front of the prop bait, to the Devil Horse. And I'm only using about 6 inches, 5 or 6 inches of that. And it's pretty stiff, so it won't get fouled on the hook. And like I said, just in case a big snook blows up on this, I want to have a chance to land them. And this 60-pound monofilament should hold up nicely to that snook's, very abrasive jaws, or whatever kind of fish you're fishing for should do the trick. All right, now to the back of the lure, I'm going to tie a piece of 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. And this depends on how clear the water is, what kind of fish you're targeting, all those things. But I tie about a 2-foot section of 20-pound fluorocarbon leader, and then I'm going to tie that straight to the lure or the hook if you're using live bait. Whatever you're going to use with this rig, that's what you're tying it to. And on this day, I was actually using a Rockport Rattler Jighead and a Berkeley Gulp shrimp, and I was targeting redfish specifically, and it really worked really well for me. But obviously a live shrimp would do probably just as good, if not better. What I like about this setup is it is incredibly effective. The action is just phenomenal. It's a subtle spray of water, and it seems to draw the fish in a lot more effectively than a deeper, more violent sounding popping cork. So I've got a little bit of first person on water footage, so I'll show you this rig in action.
Oh, got one. That is what I'm talking about. Another red. This guy's a little bit shorter.
So if you're tired of using that same old popping cork routine, give this one a try and let me know how it goes. I'm definitely gonna be using this setup a lot here in Southwest Florida where I fish. Let me know in the comments if you have any unique setups that really work for you. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I hope you enjoy your next time out on the water. I'll see you later.